The country's latest fiscal update is in. Tonight on Our News.
The government outlines where the country stands halfway through the fiscal year. I'm Delvado Emmanuel. Stay tuned to Our News for the full breakdown.
And a seat at one of the world's most powerful tables. The Bahamas makes its pitch for climate, security, and small island voices. We'll tell you why the Bahamas wants a seat on the UN Security Council. This as trouble abroad.
Poaching is not the only thing the Royal Bahamas Defense Force is concerned about. They're also worried about an influx of migrants from Cuba and Venezuela. Stay tuned to Our News tonight for more details.
Then in Our News at 7:30, as questions surround an FNM candidate, the former Prime Minister says he would have handled things differently. What he told reporters today, straight ahead. Our News, live at 7, starts right now. Welcome to Our News, live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. The government's mid-year budget review shows a deficit of more than $300 million for the first half of the fiscal year, but the Davis administration says the country's finances are still trending in the right direction. Parliamentary Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Leon Lundy, tabled the report in the House, arguing that despite the mid-year shortfall, government remains on track to meet its full fiscal target. Delvado Emmanuel sat through this morning's session. He gets us started tonight.
A mid-year check-in on the country's finances, and according to government officials, the numbers are improving. Parliamentary Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Leon Lundy, telling the House of Assembly on behalf of Minister of Finance and Prime Minister Philip Davis, who was out of country attending a CARICOM meeting in St. Kitts, that the Bahamas continues to see a steady economic growth. According to the midterm budget review, real GDP grew by 3.4% in 2025, and the International Monetary Fund is projecting a 2.8% growth in the following year.
Supported by construction activity and continued strength in cruise tourism. Madam Speaker, we have made unprecedented investments in our country and in our people, and we believe these investments in infrastructure, in digital connectivity, in energy, and in skills training and education will fuel robust economic growth.
The not-so-good news. Preliminary data indicates the central government recorded a deficit of $342.4 million, equivalent to 2.1% of GDP, during the first 6 months of the fiscal year. That compares to a deficit of $367.7 million, or 3.2% of GDP, during the same period last year. Total revenue amounted to $1.5 billion, reflecting growth of $66.6 million relative to the prior year.
This performance reflects continued economic activity and strengthening compliance efforts across major revenue categories. Total expenditure totaled $1.9 billion, an increase of $41.3 million, or 2.3%, compared to the same period last year. Recurrent expenditure rose by $42.2 million to $1.7 billion, driven largely by compensation of employees and interest payments on public debt.
Lundy says despite the first half deficit, the government remains on track to meet its full-year fiscal surplus target.
As a result of net borrowing activities, the direct charge on the government increased by $633.9 million to $12.4 billion, representing 75.1% of GDP at the end of December 2025. This outcome reflects financing required to support fiscal operations and debt management activities during this period.
Now, more details about government spending and revenue is expected next week when Prime Minister Philip Davis tables the mid-year budget report in Parliament. Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Delvado. The Bahamas seeking a seat on the United Nations Security Council for the first time in its history. Attorney General Ryan Casey announced the country's bid for a non-permanent seat for the 2032 to 2033 term during a video address on day 3 of the 61st session of the council. The Security Council is made up of 15 members, 5 permanent members, including China, France, Russia, the United Kingdom, and the United States, who hold veto power, and then non-permanent members elected by the General Assembly for 2-year terms. To win a seat, a candidate must secure a 2/3 majority vote in the 193-member General Assembly. Pinder says the bid is aimed at giving small island developing states a stronger voice on global security and climate-related issues.
In turbulent times, the world looks to the United Nations for principled leadership, clarity, fairness, and consistency. It is in this spirit that the Bahamas has decided for the first time to seek election as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council for 2032 and 33 under the theme Resilience, Relationships, Representation. Our candidature reflects the conviction that SID's voices must be heard and human rights, climate change, and security are inextricable. The waters before the international community are rough, but small island states know that panic is not a strategy and power alone does not guarantee safe passage.
And the Royal Bahamas Defense Force on high alert tonight, not only over a resurgence in illegal poaching, but over growing instability in Venezuela and Cuba that could trigger a new wave of migration toward the Bahamas. Defense Force officials say they are closely monitoring developments as regional tensions rise. Joshua Williams has this.
The Royal Bahamas Defense Force is on high alert. The political and economic situations in Venezuela and nearby Cuba could lead to a migrant influx this way. In early January, U.S. military launched an attack on Venezuela, kidnapping President Maduro and his wife. Dozens were killed, including 32 Cuban bodyguards. The U.S. also preventing oil shipments from reaching Cuba, worsening a decades-old energy shortage brought by the U.S. embargo. Speaking on the sidelines of a parade passing Wednesday, Defense Force Commodore Floyd Moxey gave context to the high alert.
And we know that in the aftermath of certain hurricanes, certain power outages in Cuba, we start to see mass migration. And those persons move towards the Bahama Bank, the Anguilla Keys, Key Lobos. And so we are positioning our fleet, our force in that area in case we start to see migration that we anticipate may happen because of what happened in Venezuela, and that will affect Cuba going down the road in a couple of weeks.
From one geopolitical crisis to the next, the force preparing its third deployment to Haiti in support of the Gang Suppression Force, previously known as the Multinational Security Support Mission, founded as international police and military force to help Haiti's government fight widespread violence.
But they are being recalled as the MSSM transition into the Gang Suppression Force, and we will be sending new troops. But that troop that is in Haiti now, those officers and Marines would have completed their time, and I think their return date will be around the 27th or the 28th of February.
But what will their role be?
Well, that is something that have to be determined by the National Security Council. The council is headed by the Prime Minister and the Minister, and they are working that out. We are doing the training on the base so that we can have a force ready whenever they say that they need us to deploy.
While illegal migration is the focus right now, they say they haven't forgotten about the poachers, and they'll be on high alert as the grouper season opens on Sunday. Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Joshua. Well, a man once elected to represent police officers is now headed to prison. Former Police Staff Association Chairman Sonny Miller will spend 6 years behind bars for helping drug traffickers. The court heard Miller used a police jeep to assist 2 Colombian men in loading cocaine and marijuana from a plane at Spring Point, Acklands back in June 2022. In passing sentence, Acting Assistant Chief Magistrate Shaka Serville said Miller was supposed to fight crime, not facilitate it. On the sidelines of a Royal Bahamas Defense Force Commander Division parade at Coral Harbor Base Wednesday, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe responded saying sentencing guidelines and the court's jurisdiction shaped the 6-year term.
The prosecutorial decision was taken to prosecute him in the magistrate's court, where there was a limited sentence. There's a Supreme Court where there's a higher sentence, but drug matters are seldom charged in the Supreme Court for historic reasons. And so you have a situation where the maximum sentence, if I'm not mistaken, is 8 years. And that would be for somebody who has reoffended. And so the public ought to do this. When somebody is convicted, all of the laws are online. So you can go and see what the maximum sentence is, and then you can draw a conclusion.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson, he is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Kindino, and a happy hump day, everybody. Middle of the week, temperatures starting to warm up slightly. We got up into the 70s once again. 67 degrees is our current temperature outside our studios under mostly clear skies. The winds are out of the east at 9 miles per hour. Feels like 59 degrees outside. Taking a look at our current temperatures around the Family of Islands, we are at 64s in Freeport, Grand Bahama, as well as in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. We pick up 68, Alistown, Bimini, and Dover in Governor's Harbor. 67s, Great Harbor Key, the Berry Islands, North Andros, Nicholstown there, also here in the capital. Into the Central Bahamas, 69, Kemps Bay, that's in South Andros, as well as in Arthurstown, Kit Island, and in Copen Towns in Salvador. 68 in Black Point, that's the Exuma Keys. Georgetown, Exuma, 70 degrees there, as well as in Port Nelson, Deadman's Key, 71. And into the Southeast Bahamas, 74. Duncantown, Ragged Island, we pick up 72s in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, Acklands, Abrahams Bay, Maguana, and then a pair of 77s in Matthewtown, Inagua, and our good neighbors is Southeast Turks and Caicos Islands. Satellite radar composite, this is the setup. We have a high pressure system still in charge, that frontal boundary hanging out near the coast of Hispaniola, but it is getting kind of close to Turks and Caicos as well as the Inagua area, so we're seeing some cloudiness as well as some isolated showers, even an isolated thunderstorm down near the Turks and Caicos Islands. That moisture will lift back towards the north as the high pressure system slides back out towards the east. That will keep us in that southeasterly flow, so we're going to see some return of that moisture across us through the next couple of days. But we do expect the front to get in here on Saturday. Not much of a cool down behind that, but we do expect a couple of showers along with that boundary. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. We'll take a look at your extended forecast when we come back.
Coming up in sports, we're back at it for window 2 of FIBA World Cup qualification. We'll tell you who's available for this road trip.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Meet the voices who want your vote. Coming to the RTV lineup, Candidates Catalog, a show that throws political heavyweights and newcomers into headline-grabbing challenges. Join Megan Shepard as she dissects candidates' promises, pasts, and personas. Candidates Catalog, where strategy collides with conscience. Only on RTV.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
For more than a century, the Royal Bahamas Police Force has been the face of law and order. Established in 1840 with only 16 men, it's become one of the largest law enforcement agencies.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. It's not a must-win game, but it's as close as a must-win as you can get without the official label. That being said, if this doesn't go our way, we should definitely panic immediately. The Bahamas Basketball Federation announced its roster for Window 2 of the FIBA World Cup 2027 America's qualifiers. That roster includes Sammy Hunter, Franco Miller Jr., Garvin Clark Jr., Isaiah Mobley, Tavario Miller, Godfrey Roll, Kentuan Smith, Rashad Davis, Jackson Jacobs, and newcomer Jacob Hanna. They will represent the country in 2 crucial road matchups. They face Jamaica on February 27th in Kingston and then take on Puerto Rico in San Juan on March 1st. From window 2 to the NBA and players we hope to see in window 3, this is what DeAndre Ayton should be in the news for. Great games, and also for people not boxing out to help on the boards when he defends a possible game winner. Let's start out in LA. Ayton was one of the bright spots in a really confusing 110-109 loss to the Orlando Magic. He finished with 21 points on 8 for 11 shooting from the field and a game-high 13 rebounds. Shifting over to the East, VJ Edgecombe was again a leading force for the Philadelphia 76ers in their 135-114 rout of the Indiana Pacers. The big spring training jersey numbers aren't ideal, but the hits keep coming. Time to leave on a high note. Let's head to the WBC in Houston. Let's start with the all-star that's gone viral for all the right reasons, and I'm talking about his 50-50 projection. Jazz Chisholm Jr. continues to set the tone for the Yankees in Grapefruit League play. He had an RBI single to right and scored a run in their 8-7 win over the Toronto Blue Jays yesterday in Dunedin. Over in Cubs camp in the Cactus League, BJ Murray Jr. led the Cubs to a 6-5 win over the San Diego Padres. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
Are you self-employed or have a small business that's looking for a faster, easier way to submit?
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
For more than a century, the Royal Bahamas Police Force has been the face of law and order. Established in 1840 with only 16 men, it's become one of the largest law enforcement agencies in the country, employing hundreds of police officers. They've not only fought crime, but also built safer communities. And this March, in honor of Police Month, join me, Jasmine Brown, every week as we introduce you to the brave men and women who risk their lives every day to keep us safe.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
It's more than a podcast. It's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe. Every story, every struggle, every breakthrough is brought to light, unfiltered and unspoken until now. Join us this Sunday at 2 p.m. as we...
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. United States President Donald Trump delivered a combative speech for the State of the Union Tuesday night, declaring what he called an American turnaround for the ages, while offering little sign of a change in direction. The record 107-minute address mixed patriotic pageantry with attacks on Democrats and a campaign-style push ahead of midterm elections later this year. Trump claimed inflation, gas prices, and mortgage rates are falling and that stocks, oil production, and investment are rising. But Trump did not acknowledge ongoing cost of living strains. Reuters polling shows 56% disapprove of his handling of the economy, while 36% approve. Trump also urged Congress to pass the Save America Act, which would require proof of U.S. citizenship to vote. Democrats say the bill would suppress turnout. This as the Republican-controlled House passed the measure 218 to 213, but political analysts say it faces long odds in the Senate. Meanwhile, Trump accusing Democrats of wanting to, quote, cheat without presenting any evidence.
Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated, and Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens. The reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things. You almost say, what imagination they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated. And their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it.
And delivering the Democratic response, Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger criticized President Trump's State of the Union, accusing his administration of deepening economic inequality, undermining public trust, and failing to address everyday American concerns. Spanberger, sworn in last month as Virginia's first woman governor, is a moderate Democrat who has flipped Republican-held seats at both the congressional and state level. Speaking in Williamsburg, Spanberger said Trump is using the presidency to benefit himself rather than working in the interest of voters ahead of this year's midterm elections.
Tonight, as we watched our nation's lawmakers gather for a joint session of Congress, we did not hear the truth from our president. So let's speak plainly and honestly, because since this president took office last year, his reckless trade policies have forced American families to pay more than $1,700 each in tariff costs. Small businesses have suffered, farmers have suffered, some losing entire markets. Everyday Americans are paying the price. And even though the Supreme Court struck these tariffs down 4 days ago, the damage to us, the American people, has already been done.
And 2 Mexican Navy vessels departed the port of Veracruz Tuesday, carrying more than 1,000 tons of humanitarian aid to Cuba. Mexican authorities say the ships Arm Papalopan and Arm Huasteco are transporting beans, powdered milk, and other foodstuffs, totaling 1,193 tons, with the voyage expected to take about 4 days. The shipment is part of Mexico's continuing humanitarian support as Cuba grapples with ongoing economic strain and shortages of basic goods. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was February 25th. Then in our news at 7:30, Grand Bahama positioned as a future trade gateway, with Parliament signing off on funding for a regional marketplace project. And a dramatic video sparks a Defense Force probe as fishermen claim growing threats from foreign poachers. When our news returns.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
Conflict doesn't have to end in chaos. Before it escalates, take a breath. Step back. Choose peace. Listen to understand. Respectful conversations lead to real solutions. I am Sergeant 3599 Johnson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, urging you, let's talk it out, not fight it out.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas. And that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows.
On this day in Bahamian history, to learn more about the events that shaped the day that was February 25th, head over to rnews.bs. A school designed to turn creative talent into careers is now one step closer to becoming a fully recognized national institution. The government has tabled legislation to formally establish the Creative and Performing Arts School of the Bahamas, known as CAPAS, as a statutory body. CAPAS, which launched in September, is a tuition-free school on Gladstone Road where students train in dance, acting, singing, and digital media. The bill outlines the school's governance, allows it to confer degrees, diplomas, and certificates, and positions it as a hub for developing Bahamian cultural identity and gaining international recognition in the arts. Education Minister and Engliston MP Glenys Hanna-Martin presented the bill in Parliament this morning.
It will link with community theater, youth arts programs, and national festivals. It will be the fuel to drive the infrastructure of the new creative economy. A new national center for the performing arts, new TV and film studios, new music and entertainment spaces. The legislation is essential to guarantee the independence, professionalism, and sustainability of this work. It will ensure that the Bahamas' investment in creative education becomes a permanent engine of cultural pride, youth opportunity, national development, and prosperity.
All right, and coming up on our news later this week, we hear from CAPA's interim head Ian Poitier about what the legislation will mean for the creative industry. Be sure and stay tuned for that. Well, that's going to do it for us in News at 7. If you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit rnews.bs. But up now is Megan Shepard. She has got the latest headlines. Megan, happy hump day.
Happy hump day to you, Candino.
I know we just had that moment in the studio.
My
Today is your Monday.
My Monday, I'm just getting the week started.
Like Leslie said, you know what, Megan, I'm so sorry it's you. But
oh boy.
You know the rest.
I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here with you guys. All right, coming up straight ahead tonight at 7:30, a woman is charged after allegedly threatening to shoot her landlord. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight, money approved. Parliamentarians approving a $1.86 million loan for the Afro-Caribbean Marketplace and Logistics Center in Grand Bahama, set to replace the once thriving, now demolished International Bazaar. Plus, if there's money in the bank, then prove it. The former Prime Minister calling on the Davis administration to show and tell Bahamians more when it comes to the Grand Lucayan deal. And then the Defense Force Commodore weighing in on a viral video of what appears to be Bahamian fishermen brutally attacking suspected poachers. And later, the Bahamas in multi- and bilateral meetings at the 50th meeting of CARICOM. The Foreign Affairs Minister giving our news a debrief on the agenda and high-level conversations. We've got the details for these stories and more as our news starts now.
Today is significant because Doctors Hospital returns to the service of advanced technology with our brand new cath lab. The way that the cath lab works is to have a procedure done that restores the blood flow.
The doors of the new cardiac catheterization unit are being opened to time saved. They are being opened to the radical use of advanced technology. They're being open to precision. They're being open to outcomes, and most important, to save and improve patients' lives.
Healthcare is a living organism, and we must coexist both in the public and private sector in order to provide these essential, life-saving and life-changing services for our people. We're proud of what the work Doctors Hospital has done.
Welcome to our news and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Megan Shepard. Parliamentarians approving a resolution to borrow nearly $2 million to support a major development project on Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama Minister Ginger Boxey moving the resolution in the House of Assembly for government to guarantee a $1.86 million facility with the African Export-Import Bank to fund the preparation phase of an Afro-Caribbean Marketplace and Logistics Center. The Marketplace and Logistics Center is envisioned as a cultural and commercial hub designed to transform Grand Bahama into a major player in regional trade and global maritime logistics. It will include a grand exhibition pavilion representing all 55 African nations, 20 Caribbean countries, and 16 islands of the Bahamas. The proposed development would include exhibition pavilions, conference and entertainment spaces, retail outlets, and a smart logistics hub aimed at strengthening trade and logistics links between Africa and the Caribbean. Officials say the funding is meant to help structure the project and attract private investment through a public-private partnership.
This resolution, Madam Speaker, is proposed to cause a disciplined preparation stage designed to engineer bankability, reduce implementation stage sovereign exposure, crowd in private capital, and enable structured trade corridor development. The government is not underwriting construction. The government is underwriting preparation so that future development proceeds on a properly structured, commercially viable, and fiscally responsible basis to be private sector driven as a public-private partnership.
Now, you may recall that less than 1 week ago, the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce raised concerns about government's plans to redevelop the former International Bazaar, warning against the use of compulsory acquisition, which allows the state to take private properties for public purposes. In a statement on Thursday, the chamber said that the power should only be used for essential public services, warning it could discourage private investment. Meantime, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis is demanding the Davis administration put its money where its mouth is and prove to Bahamians it was actually paid $120 million for the sale of the Grand Lucayan Resort. The former PM and current Killarney MP is questioning the deal days after government and officials from U.S.-based Concord Wilshire denied claims that the $120 million sale has collapsed. Last May, the Davis administration signed a heads of agreement with the U.S.-based company for the sale and redevelopment of the resort. 9 months later, there's been little movement on the project, and repeated calls for the government to prove a payment was made. Outside Parliament this morning, Dr. Minnis joined a growing list of critics calling for proof of payment.
The Deputy Prime Minister, when they made the announcement, the Deputy Prime Minister, with confidence and authoritative voice, said the money is in the bank. I checked, it's not Scotia. It's not Royal. It's not Bank of Bahamas. If the money in the bank, then what's the problem? Show us the money. Even show us 10 million, 20 million. You sold it for 120, show us something. So I don't know which bank they're talking about. It's the money. At least I would have shown the Bahamian populace the evidence that the money is there and it's being paid for. It's conflict-free report. The Deputy Prime Minister said it's there. So just show us something. Show us 50 billion.
Well, the former Free National Movement leader also addressing reporters on new controversy surrounding his former party's current candidate for Mount Moriah. As our Danielle Miller tells us, the former Prime Minister is making a bold proclamation about his handling of political scandal. Take a look.
Party officials for the Free National Movement declining to comment this morning on the arrest of an associate for their candidate for Mount Moriah, Marvin Dames. But former party leader Dr. Hubert Minnis weighed in, saying that he would have dealt with the matter if he was still party leader.
I've been reading the newspaper. Only thing I would say is that under my leadership, those stories don't make, it's not a second look. You know, they don't continue. I deal with it quickly.
Those were the words of former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, who previously served as leader of the Free National Movement. The party now under scrutiny as the political season ramps up with speculation of an early general election. Recent reports indicate that Malcolm Rashad Goodman, a man described as a business associate of Dames, was arrested in Florida on drug-related charges. In a statement Tuesday, Dames confirmed his association with Goodman, saying he and his wife entered into business with him in 2024. However, Dames says he has no involvement in or prior knowledge of the matter. The former National Security Minister and retired police officer says he will not speculate on an ongoing investigation, adding he is prepared to fully cooperate with any lawful inquiry by authorities in the Bahamas or the United States. But Dr. Minnis seemingly casual in his response to questions about his thoughts on this latest development. Just for clarity on your last statement, so you're saying if you were still leader of the FNM, you would remove Marvin Dames from your candidates list?
What I said is it would not make another newspaper cycle.
Dr. Minnis pointed to his record as former Prime Minister.
Under my leadership and review the records, these matters or matters of that nature would not make a second newspaper cycle.
In a Facebook post on the FNM's Mount Moriah page, Dames appeared to address questions about his continued candidacy in the upcoming general election, writing, "Still standing," adding that he will not be deterred and will not be distracted. Reporting for our news, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, thanks so much, Danielle. Well, authorities are now looking into that dramatic video circulating this week with what appears to be Bahamian fishermen brutally attacking suspected poachers in Bahamian waters. Before the video ends, a man shouts, "Don't come back." In response, there are growing cries from the fishermen that they are facing increasing threats and potential violence from foreign fishermen on the high seas. It's also reigniting concerns about safety, and overfishing by these poachers. Bahamas Defense Force Commodore Floyd Moxie confirming he's seen the video and an investigation is ongoing.
We have one of our 42-meter patrol boat on the bank. We have an interceptor in Ragged Island that is able to deploy to the bank within minutes or hours. I spoke to members of the Fishing Alliance who sent us that video. They were unable to confirm the origin of that video or whether it was a Bahamian crew. And so we're still working through that. We're still trying to investigate if they were Bahamians.
And as tensions rise over these fertile fishing grounds, the Commodore shared some advice for our local fishermen.
Not to engage foreign fishermen, not to engage poachers. They are to call the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. We have the WhatsApp number out there. The majority of those boats now have a communication device that they can reach us. We expect them to call us. We look at them as being a force multiplier. They have been giving us information in the past. But do not engage foreign fishermen. Leave that to us, the professionals.
The four-day 50th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community, better known as CARICOM, currently underway in St. Kitts and Nevis. Opening ceremonies were held yesterday and regional leaders immediately beginning the work. Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell noting that they hosted meetings with a parade of foreign visitors, including U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. As it relates to the nation's recent presence in the Caribbean, Mitchell says the U.S. is taking a firm position on what they're doing.
The situation within Cuba, of course, is dire. Food shortages, fuel shortages, extreme discomfort, and according to the United States position, it's not their fault. It's the fault of the Cuban government. The best way to describe it is we agree to disagree. Most countries, I would guess with the exception of Trinidad and Tobago, that has already staked out a position with regard to both Venezuela and Cuba. But most countries want to help the humanitarian situation in Cuba to be resolved.
Now, U.S. President Donald Trump had previously threatened tariff hikes against any nation sending energy supplies to Cuba and has urged the island's leaders to reach a deal to avert a worsening humanitarian crisis. As to what the next steps may be following today's meeting.
Invitation from the Secretary of State for countries in the Caribbean to communicate to the Cuban government that the U.S. is willing to assist with a transition. Now, I'm not sure whether that's the appropriate role for CARICOM countries, but the leaders listened, and I suppose we'll see what happens, what unfolds after that. But the fact is there's a severe humanitarian crisis in Cuba. They've helped CARICOM countries, and I think the CARICOM countries all feel a moral obligation to assist Cuba in this very difficult period.
The Bahamian delegation holding a bilateral meeting with the Haitian delegation. Mitchell noting that the authority for the Transitional Presidential Council that gave the authority for the government expired on February 7th.
And a new accord had to be signed. So we just had a quick meeting with the Prime Minister there to lay out what the next steps are to get toward elections. One of the things he did say is that the deadline for August of this year for general elections in Haiti is probably overambitious, and so new targets have to be set. So the Bahamas has a commitment to continue supporting the Haitian moves toward democracy.
And as the body of leaders head into caucuses to focus on matters within the community, Mitchell shares the top focus for the Bahamas.
The Bahamas is particularly interested in the fate of the associate members, that is the dependent territories, that's Bermuda, Turks and Caicos Islands, British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Montserrat, the Cayman Islands, and what their relationship is to CARICOM, and of course their continued relationship with the British overlord.
Well, we've still got lots more news to share with you tonight, but first, meteorologist Greg Thompson joins us with your first look at temperatures. Greg, happy Wednesday.
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and a happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Middle of the week, temperatures warming up slightly. We had some 70s today, got near the 80-degree mark in the southeast Bahamas. We had 67 outside our studios right now under mostly clear skies. Your winds out of the east at 9 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is 59 degrees. Feels kind of cool out there. So make sure you take a sweat if you have plans on the outdoors. Satellite radar composite, some patchy clouds moving across us, but mostly dry conditions, all courtesy of a high-pressure system that's sticking out of the Atlantic across our area and into the Gulf of Mexico. But we still have that front down near Hispaniola trying to lift itself back towards the north, bringing us some cloudy conditions, as well as a few showers, possibly even an isolated thunderstorms across the southeast Bahamas. That moisture will lift back towards the north as that high pressure continues to slide out towards the east. We do expect the front to get in here by Saturday from the north. That should bring us some increased chances for some showers across the northern islands. We do need the rainfall, but not much of a cool down expected behind this one. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. We'll take a look at your extended forecast when we come back.
When our news comes back from the break, the National Security Minister with a message to the media, specifically calling for more responsibility. Plus, we've got news from the courts as a woman is facing charges after allegedly threatening to shoot her landlord. We'll tell you why when our news returns.
When I wake up in the morning and I take a walk outside, I see the sunshine, I see a new day, and that feeling puts a smile right on my face. I know just what to do, go to the paint place. So if you wanna paint it right the first time, go to the paint place, stop at the paint place. And if you want it to last a lifetime, go to the paint place, stop at the paint place.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. is very, I mean, it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is the great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. You're going to marvel.
Somewhere's Plaza, got it going on, yeah. Somewhere's Plaza, one-stop shopping is here. The family, community, for me. Southwest Plaza, come shop with us. Shop, we've got so many stores. Shop, our prices are right. Come spend the day, bring the family. Southwest Plaza, come shop with us.
Meet the voices who want your vote.
Members of the media warned to properly verify videos on social media and not be so quick to publish. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe addressing a recent case where a video was published by several media houses reporting a Carmichael Road family accusing police of planting drugs in their backyard and subsequent arrest of 2 men. Just this week, Monroe advised the police officer accused of allegedly planting the drugs to lawyer up and sue. But today, on the sidelines of a Royal Bahamas Defense Force parade, said this.
It will show up in the court hearing if the press resists settling the matter. The important thing for journalists is this. If somebody brings you a video, you've seen BBC News, they have BBC Verified. They just don't splash out every bit of video that people send them. They try to verify it. So if you watch it, you will see them checking buildings, the state of buildings.
Monroe went on to say, having seen the full video, what was shared with the public did not tell the full story.
It was clear that that wasn't the beginning of the interaction. It was clear that whoever had that video would have had the beginning. And a very simple thing to do would have asked the person, let me see the full video. And then having seen the full video, you could make a judgment what you do with it as a media organization. There is some responsibility to do that.
A woman is facing charges after she allegedly threatened to shoot her landlord when he came to collect rent. Prosecutors say Lottison Roll went to Rosemary Brown's Pine Yard Road apartment on February 15th asking for his money. Brown, 42, allegedly told Roll that she didn't owe him anything and that she was, quote, going to blow his brains out, unquote. Brown denied this at her arraignment before Magistrate Abigail Farrington. She was granted $5,000 bail and her trial is set for April 22nd.
Coming up in sports, who's available for window 2 of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers? 2 stops, Jamaica to Puerto Rico. Then we head to the NBA to check in on the guys that'll be available in July. And we've got base hits all around in spring training.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
Conflict doesn't have to end in chaos. Before it escalates, take a breath. Step back. Choose peace. Listen to understand. Respectful conversations lead to real solutions. I am Sergeant 3599 Johnson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, urging you, let's talk it out, not fight it out.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk, We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. It's not a must-win game, but it's as close as a must-win as you can get without the official label. That being said, if this doesn't go our way, we should definitely panic immediately. The Bahamas Basketball Federation announced its roster for Window 2 of the FIBA World Cup 2027 America's Qualifiers. That roster includes Sammy Hunter, Franco Miller Jr., Garvin Clark Jr., Isaiah Mobley, Tavario Miller, Godfrey Roll, Kentuan Smith, Rashad Davis, Jackson Jacobs, and newcomer Jacob Hanna. They will represent the country in 2 crucial road matchups. They face Jamaica on February 27th in Kingston and then take on Puerto Rico in San Juan on March 1st. In Window 1 back in November, the Bahamas had a back-to-back against Canada. Never fun. They fell in both games, 111-75 here at home before a much-improved 94-88 loss on the road. Clark, Mobley, and Davis are the leading scorers returning from the first window. The Bahamas is 4th in Group B, but can neither qualify or be eliminated over the course of the next 2 games. From Window 2 to the NBA and players we hope to see in Window 3, this is what DeAndre Ayton should be in the news for. Great games, and also for people not boxing out to help on the boards when he defends a possible game winner. Let's start out in LA. Ayton was one of the bright spots in a really confusing 110-109 loss to the Orlando Magic. He finished with 21 points on 8 for 11 shooting from the field and a game-high 13 rebounds. After going 4-4 on their latest homestand, the Lakers are 34-23, 6th in the Western Conference. Shifting over to the East, VJ Edgecombe was again a leading force for the Philadelphia 76ers in their 135-114 rout of the Indiana Pacers. He continues to put up Rookie of the Year numbers on a winning team because context matters. Last night it was 23 points on 9 for 13 shooting from the field and 7 rebounds. Remember that show VJ put on during All-Star Weekend? Well, it's continued. Since the break, he's averaging about 22 points and 8 rebounds per game while shooting 53% from the field and 45% from beyond the arc. That also includes a career-high 6 made threes against Minnesota. The big spring training jersey numbers aren't ideal, but the hits keep coming. Time to leave on a high note. Let's head to the WBC in Houston. Let's start with the All-Star that's gone viral for all the right reasons, and I'm talking about his 50-50 projection. Jazz Chisholm Jr. continues to set the tone for the Yankees in Grapefruit League play. He had an RBI single to right and scored a run in their 8-7 win over the Toronto Blue Jays yesterday in Dunedin. Over in Cubs camp in the Cactus League, BJ Murray Jr. led the Cubs to a 6-5 win over the San Diego Padres. He went 2 for 3 with a double, 2 RBI, and scored a run. Staying in the Cactus League, Christian Robinson got his first hit of spring training and scored a run in the Arizona Diamondbacks 6-4 win over the Texas Rangers. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS, and am I tripping, or could Atlanta really just release Buddy to play for us this weekend? At this point, it kind of feels like a hostage situation. Who do we need to talk to? Foreign Affairs? He's an ambassador, so this is a diplomacy issue, right?
When we come back from the break, Greg is back in the Weather Center with a complete look at your weather forecast across the country. Stick with us.
on the record.
Too many suffer in silence, but silence only protects the abuser. Your feelings are real. Your safety matters. It's time to break the silence. If someone is hurting you, speak up. We will listen. We will help. I am Police Constable 4286 Sinead Douglas of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Let us build safer communities together. Do you think you know domestic violence? Think again.
It is not just physical, emotional, financial, or sexual abuse, and it doesn't discriminate. If you feel intimidated, harassed, or manipulated, you're not alone. The Bahamas Crisis Center and the Domestic Violence Task Force are here. I am Sergeant 3992 Tamika Neely. Let's break the silence on domestic violence. Let's create safer communities.
This is our news. Welcome back. High pressure is still in charge of our weather. We do have a frontal boundary still lurking near the southeast Bahamas off the coast of Hispaniola. Some showers and isolated thunderstorms associated with that affecting Inagua as well as the Turks and Caicos Islands. That moisture will lift back towards the north. As that high slides out towards the east, that's going to turn our winds more towards the southeast. It's going to continue to bring that tropical moisture across the area. But that high will keep systems to the north. We expect the frontal boundary to get here sometime on Saturday. That frontal boundary is expected to bring us some chances of some isolated showers, possibly even a thunderstorm across the northwest Bahamas. We are dry, so we do need the rainfall, and we expect that front to quickly race through and move towards the east and away from us. Future forecast showing the high pressure system in charge. Nothing much happening out there. That moisture lifting back towards the north across southeast Bahamas. Most of the activity staying out there in the open Atlantic through Thursday, and by Friday actually, most of the moisture will basically wane, and that front will continue to pull out towards the east and well away from us. Boating forecast, still a bit rough on the Atlantic side, so we're keeping the caution flag for you guys out in the northwest and central Bahamas. Risk of rip currents still exists. East to southeast winds at 10 to 15 knots, seas running 2 to 4 feet near shore, building up to 7 feet offshore in some northeast to easterly swells. Low tide is at 8:19 tonight. Your high tide takes place at 2:50 in the morning. Southeast Bahamas, stronger winds down there. Small craft caution in effect. Rip current risk still exists there as well. Northeast to east winds 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet near shore, building up to 8 feet in Atlantic waters in some northeasterly swells. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, tomorrow looks beautiful. Temperatures will get up into the upper 70s. We're starting to warm up, but by Friday into Saturday, with some of that moisture coming back with that front, we expect an increase in some showers. Temperatures will be in the 80-degree mark, and then by Saturday, another front expected, and that should bring us some showers and thunderstorms. But the temperatures will stay in the 80s. Looks as though we are finished with the cold weather for this time of the year. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks, Greg. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a safe and wonderful evening. Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.